Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to deal a very important topic that is urinary tract infection. It is a very common infection also. Urinary tract infection. Urinary tract infection is the second most infection after respiratory tract infection, and it is defined as a disease. It is defined as a disease caused by microbial invasion caused by microbial invasion of the genitourinary tract that extends from renal cortex of kidney to the urethral meatus. Right from the renal cortex, if the infection is going to the urethral meatus, it is called the urinary tract infection. The presence of detectable bacteria in urine is called as bacteria and the presence of pus cells in UTI is called as pyuria. Pyuria. Pyuria is presence of pus cells in urine. Pyuria, and this generally accompanies the presence of UTI. Normally the kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder and proximal part of urethra are sterile. But some bacteria may be present in distal urethra as a transient flora. Now coming to the types of UTI. The UTI are basically divided into two categories. First is the lower UTI and another is the upper UTI. The lower UTI includes urethritis, that is inflammation of urethra, cystitis, that is inflammation of bladder, prostatitis, and lower UTI this is due to ascending infection caused by the coliforms group of bacteria. The upper UTI includes acute pyelitis, that is the inflammation of pelvis, acute pyelonephritis, that is infection of the parenchyma of kidney, and pyelonephritis due to hematogenous mode of infection. There are many predisposing factors which cause UTI. and discussing them one by one. First is the gender. Generally, females are more commonly affected by UTI. Females are more commonly affected by UTI due to some anatomical reasons, because they have short length of urethra, and its proximity to anus, Also, in sexually active females, the sexual intercourse leads to introduction of bacteria into the bladder. Next, pregnancy is an important factor. Pregnancy is the important factor that predisposes to upper UTI. UTI can also be caused due to obstruction of flow of urine. This obstruction may be due to stone, stricture, and prostate enlargement and tumor. Another important cause that leads to UTI is neurogenic bladder dysfunction, which may be as a sequel of spinal cord injury, or it may be seen in certain diseases like multiple sclerosis. Also, the reflux of urine from bladder up to the ureters and to the renal pelvis is one of the predisposing factors that cause UTI. Now, coming to the clinical features. Sometimes the UTI goes asymptomatic. And symptomless urinary tract infection is commonly detected only by urine culture. The symptoms of UTI include frequency, dysuria, and the presence of suprapubic pain that radiates to the loin area, loin area. The UTI may be associated with presence of fever with rigors. As already said, it is more common in females than in males. In males, UTI is more common above 60 years, in which enlarged prostate is a common problem. The causative organisms responsible for causing UTI are gram-negative bacilli, which include E. coli or Escherichia coli. It is supposed to be the commonest cause. Of UTI. Next is Klebsiella. Then comes Proteus, especially Proteus mirabilis. This is responsible for causing the resistant type of UTI. Enterobacter and sometimes Pseudomonas. Certain gram-positive bacteria are also responsible for causing UTI, and these include Enterococci, Enterococcus faecalis, Staphylococcus saprophyticus, Staphylococcus aureus, and Staphylococcus epidermidis. This is generally present as a urine contaminant, and it is a pathogen in immunocompromised individuals. Certain bacteria like Streptococcus pyogenes, Streptococcus agalacti, Salmonella, and Citrobacter and fungus like Candida albicans may cause UTI in diabetes and immunocompromised persons. Now coming to the lab diagnosis, culture of urine is an essential part in establishing the diagnosis of UTI. It also helps in identification of organism and also studying the antimicrobial susceptibility pattern. Midstream urine sample is preferably collected prior to starting of antibiotic regimes, the urine specimen should be collected. The urine specimen should be collected in a sterile container and before collecting the sample, the genitalia should be cleaned with soap and water. Men should be instructed to retract the foreskin of glans penis, while females should keep the labia apart. Then the first portion of urine is allowed to pass and without interrupting the flow, mid portion of urine sample should be collected. If the urine sample has to be directly collected from catheter, then it should be collected directly from the catheter itself and not from the collection bag. The catheter should not touch the container. Generally, it is seen that the catheter specimen gives good results on culture. In case of infants, a clean catch specimen is collected after cleaning the genitalia or suprapubic aspiration may be done for collection of specimen. This suprapubic aspiration can also be done in case of adult females where uncontaminated specimen cannot be obtained by other methods. Once the urine is collected, then it should reach laboratory. With minimum delay. As urine is supposed to be the good culture medium for growth of bacteria. If there is delay and transport is not possible, then the specimen should be kept in refrigerator at 4 degrees centigrade. Once the specimen has reached the lab, then a portion of it is subjected to bacteriological culture and the rest part is subjected to microscopy. For microscopic examination, the urine is centrifuged and the deposit is examined under microscope for detecting pus cells, epithelial cells, erythrocytes and bacteria. In case of symptomless bacteria, generally pyuria may not be seen, while in most clinical infections pyuria may be seen. Most clinical infections, but this may be absent in symptomless bacteria. Next important thing is, if there is only presence of pus cells or pyuria without bacteria, this is important, without bacteria, then it's an indicator of presence of renal tuberculosis. presence of urinary casts, presence of urinary casts, red cells, tubular epithelial cells or atypical cells indicate non-infective lesions, non-infective lesions such as glomerulonephritis, or presence of tumor. For culture purposes, uncentrifuged urine is inoculated on blood agar and McConkey agar. Further, the culture plates are incubated. Further, the culture plates are incubated at 37 degrees centigrade for 24 hours. Most laboratories use semi-quantitative method or standard loop technique for culture of urine specimens. In standard loop technique, a standard calibrated loop is used to culture a fixed volume of uncentrifuged urine and culture is done on blood agar and McConkey agar incubated at 37 degrees centigrade for 24 hours, and on next day the colonies are counted and total count per ml is done. The interpretation of result is as follows, which was given by scientist Cass, K-A-S-S, Cass, in 1956. Counts of more than 10 to the power of 5 bacteria of single species per ml is termed as significant bacteria. Count of more than 10 to the power of 5 bacteria of single species per ml is called as significant bacteria, and this indicates active UTI if the bacterial count is between 10 to the power of 4 to 10 to the power of 5 per ml, then it is considered as doubtful significant. And the specimen should be repeated for culture. Bacteria count of less than 10 to the power of 4 bacteria per ml is considered as no significant growth, and is generally considered as contaminants. Contamination is also considered if more than one, that is 3 or more bacteria are isolated. These organisms are identified by colony characters, Gram's staining, motility, biochemical reactions, and serological tests. Some other tests are also there, which we will take up in the next class.